All right, welcome back. Well, I hope you found a lot of very compelling discoveries. I myself, I'm a little bit out of sorts at this moment, simply because I'm really feeling and sensing a lot of power in doing this last exercise, and I'm hoping that that's transferring across this recording, across time and space, for whenever this message reaches you and when you're receiving it. So I only wrote, and this was really surprising, I only wrote about half a page, and after I read my half a page to you, I'll explain to you where I'm at in my state of mind and why I wrote these things. And please forgive me if I stumble a little bit, because I'm writing my longhand and not a typed copy of this, but if I ruled the world, I would ask the perfect questions right now. If I ruled the world, I would ask you, what's the difference about you now? Who are you now in relation to who you were at the beginning of this week and at the beginning of this recording? If I ruled the world, I would recognize how truly passionate I am and honest about what I do. If I ruled the world, money comes when you find your truthful voice. If I ruled the world, money and resources come effortlessly when you find your natural state of being. If I ruled the world, vulnerability would be cherished. And if I ruled the world, talent and persistence, true care, concern, and quality will always rise to the top in our new world. I've been talking a lot to some friends and colleagues who have joined us in our Destiny 5 workshops. And they had expressed to me some concerns, especially over the last meeting that we had. And that the reason why they keep coming back week after week to what we do with the Destiny 5 experience is that we honestly do. We put aside all agenda to just serve the people who are there. One of my very good friends who attended the workshop was very honest with me, and I applaud her bravery for telling me this. But we've attracted a couple of people whose sole purpose for being there was networking and making money and building their resources. And that's great. I mean, if they have something to offer and there's some value there, I want them to have the chance to have their voice be heard and be appreciated for what they do. But the most important thing, and the thing I want to set a precedent for anybody who listens to this or comes to any of the workshops, is that my primary concern is to be able to serve you. Be able to serve the participant in really having the space and the trust and the vulnerability to really get the answers that you're looking for. I feel like that was meant to be. There's purpose behind that. So thank you for listening to that. And I'm about ready to close out day 5 here, so let me go over my notes and we will close out the day. Okay, so look back over your notes and really now start to bring them inside. Really start to feel your worth. Really start to feel what is really going on in this moment now. Notice the shifts and the changes that are happening just because you said yes to this quest. And be aware and acknowledge the energies that are just waking up inside of you because you've actively chosen to participate in becoming the writer of your destiny. I thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to go out and enjoy this beautiful day, and I'm very much hoping that we'll get to meet soon and that we'll be able to collaborate and share success stories. And we're going to go on to day 6 here, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Happy day 6 to you. Hope it's a great week for you, and hope everything is going wonderfully and that you're moving forward with a lot of powerful momentum. Before I go into today's activities, I wanted to reflect a little bit about yesterday. In my opinion, And not that I'm apologizing for any of the content or any of the way that I present the content, but in my opinion, I felt that I may have come across a little bit spacey, a little bit emotional, a little bit overwhelmed. And I'm starting to realize why that was, and I think it really works into a very powerful lesson that I can share with you. I was booking a workshop this week, and my friend, who is part of my workshops, made the connection for me to speak with a church. And I told my friend, okay, well, let me finish up my brochure, and I will get in contact with this church, and we will be ready to go with this. And he said, Mike, the brochure is not necessary. If you just come to them with your passion, that's enough. And there's a lot of truth in that. As I'm thinking about going forward with connecting with others about this workshop, I'm finding that it's becoming less and less about the sales gimmick. It's becoming less and less about the internet marketing and the video. Although all those things help, it makes an initial connection. But what really sells things, what really creates things in your life as well, is having a true passion and being able to not have anything impede that when you're talking to somebody. So passion is something that is a valuable, valuable resource in today's world. It is undervalued when we think about it, but really it is the most precious resource on earth today. Passion, creativity, all of these things are what we thirst for, what we hunger for. And that is what I'm hoping you will be inspired to cultivate throughout this entire 60-day quest. So we're almost near the end of this week in this volume. I'm going to cover day 6 and day 7, both in this recording right now. I want you to look back and really think about this week. Think about what happened. Think about your process. Think about your story in the context of this first week of the quest. I can tell you that I've learned a lot about myself this week, and I have felt a lot of that powerful momentum that usually begins when you initiate the quest. In the next volume, we're going to go over the shadow. That's where you hit your first bump and your first roadblock. I can tell you in my life and in my current quest, this shadow is starting to sneak up on me at the moment. I've done a lot of things this week. I've made a lot of contacts. I've sent a lot of emails. I've come up with a lot of ideas. And I've had a lot of forward momentum energy-wise this week. I felt really great about it. But my problem right now is that nobody's responding. For those of you who know me and know about my business practice and what I'm doing at the moment, I'm reaching out to a lot of Universal Unitarian churches and a lot of meetup groups in an effort to make my 60-day quest a successful one. My problem right now is nobody is responding. Nobody is writing back. Nobody is acknowledging me. And this is a shadow that I've been wrestling with throughout the writing of the Destiny 5 Experience book, and I'm still dealing with it. And I will deal with this shadow even further in the next volume as I help and support you and be with you every step of the way as you overcome your personal shadow as well. Remember, with every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This week has been about action. This week you have gone after what you wanted with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of innocence. But when that first wall gets hit, when you run up against that first roadblock, sometimes that equal and opposite reaction can be just as powerful, and it has the potential to strand you. It has the potential to send you right back where you started and keep you there. That's not going to happen. In the next volume, volume 3, we are going to learn how to listen, learn how to be passive now. This past volume that you listened to, which dealt with origins, was more focused on aggressive energy, forward momentum, maybe more of a yang energy, if you will. Next week, the shadow deals with more of a yin energy, more passive, more receptive, fine-tuning your listening skills. Now, as much as you've paid attention to yourself in this past week, in the week coming up, you're going to have to pay attention to the needs of others. That's how you move forward in the quest. There's a story I keep hearing, and it's about an interview Mike Tyson did when he was in the prime of his boxing career. When he was about ready to prepare for a fight, one of the interviewers asked him, Mike, you've got this opponent coming up, and he says he's been studying you. He says he's got this plan. He says he knows how to beat you. What do you say to that? And Mike Tyson said, well, everyone's got a plan until they get hit. Now, I'm not saying that I necessarily look up to Mike Tyson, because God knows the man did a lot of things that I don't agree with. But that is a very intelligent thing he said. Everyone's got a plan until you get hit. Now I'm going to use another boxing story, and this was from Sylvester Stallone's movie Rocky Balboa, which was the final entry of the Rocky series. He's talking to his son. You know, it's not about how hard you hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. And I agree with that. I agree with Stallone's philosophy.